Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question for you, Mr. Affleck and Mrs. McCain. I'm curious, how did you choose the Eastern Congo as a focus of your passion and interest? The reason I say that is those of us who sit on this committee and others where global human rights is of a concern and of deep interest and essential, the insults to humanity, the effrontery that comes across our desks daily in so many places throughout the world can almost just be exhausting. So I'm curious, how did you choose this particular area?
I came to it, I won't go into my own personal journey because that may be inappropriate for this, but I think really for me frankly, it was reading. I was looking at some other stuff, trying to cast around, looking at advocacy, and I came across this. Well, of course, it pales into comparison with the millions of deaths in Eastern Congo. And I was, on the one hand, shocked, and on the other hand, really ashamed. How could I not have known this? You know, I read the newspaper, and yet I had no idea. And so I thought, well, maybe this is a place where I can at least, show up. I don't know what. And I started studying, and I started learning. I took a couple of years. I didn't want to be kind of a celebrity dilettante sort of person that doesn't know what they're talking about and irritates everyone, because I thought that wouldn't help any.
Well, that's very impolitic of you to say, but very well received, I should say, as well.
So I really did a lot of studying. Whitney Williams, who's here, was instrumental in helping me do that, and met with a lot of really learned experts, John among them, and when I foremost among them, and when I ultimately got to a place where I want to build an organization, because I kind of identified that the best people I thought were doing the best work with people who had some skin in the game, who were living in the community every day, who knew people, who knew the militia, who knew who the children were. I talked to people who were taking kids out of child soldiers out of the militias, and they would go to them and address them, kind of personally, and bargain. Look, at least you don't need him. Well, give me her. And then, while that was happening, they had already found a place for the child to live in the village rather than an institutional home or the like. And I thought, gosh, this is what happens when something bad happens in your community and you're dealing with it because you know the people. And I got struck that I wanted to help empower those folks because, of course, they had no money. And so we started raising money. And I also thought, nothing changes without advocacy, without powerful people making up their minds, people like you. And the idea to ultimately sit here and address you, it's a real thrill for me. And then I want to surround myself with kind of smart, thoughtful philanthropists and people who got it. And everybody who knows something about this knows how long Mrs. McCain has been involved in this. As she said, since she's in Goma in '94. That's a big deal. And since then, doing a lot of work. And so I gave her a call and hope she wouldn't think it was a prank call.
Well, clearly your investment of time and passion is very genuine, and I think it's going to give continuity to this effort, and I'm grateful. Ms. McCain, did you have to add anything?
Other than to say everything is always a personal journey, and my story is no different. I won't go into it, but what I will say is that from my own personal well-being, Africa has haunted me in a good way. It has kept me coming back because I see such hope there. I see such possibilities, and I know that with the help of people like Mr. Affleck and others around the world that we can make a difference. And so it's nothing more than a personal journey for me as well, but it's one that has kept me coming back. And I love it there, and I would rather not be anyplace else.
Thank you as well for your time and passion on it. I did want to raise a couple of quick issues in the limited time I have left. Mr. Prendergast, you had made a correlation between the pervasiveness of a culture of rape and the conflict regarding minerals. It's unclear to me what that direct correlation is. If you could spend 20 seconds unpacking that, please.
Actually, it says 40 here. Anyways.
I have another question, though.
Well, that should have been we didn't need a laugh line right before talking about this because it is so crushingly serious. What basically our assessment is that these militia armed groups on the ground, including the government army. We always talk about rebels. There's militias both from Rwanda and Congo and the government army. They've used the tactic of rape as a weapon. See,
I don't think this point is very clear, and I appreciate you saying there's a correlation there, but go ahead.
And to use rape as a tactic of war in order to intimidate local communities to go along with the kind of mafia economy that we're talking about all day today. So, I mean, in Sierra Leone, they used amputations to terrorize civilian populations. There's no, I mean, people use what works. And if there is no consequence, if it's impunity reigns, then why not this? And so there are many other factors involved. I think you're wanting to say something in there. Can I yield some of my time?
Yes, please.
Just to clarify that also a bit more, it's a displacement mechanism. Mm-hmm. It moves people out of the areas where these resources are so they can move in and take control of the mines. And if you look
So
at
this is not just some act of depravity that happens in ungoverned spaces. It's deliberate, it's intentional for larger geopolitical purposes.
It is a strategy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a strategy.
This is a point.
It's both. It's all of those things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What happens is these tactics create an environment where it seems like anything goes. You know, but I do absolutely concur. At least what I've seen from these two folks is that it's about armed groups saying we're going to go after this area and this is how we're going to attack them, and then it becomes just a kind of horrible reality where it's acceptable.
I called it a culture of rape. I don't know if that's it's the right description.
I don't think it is exactly, because the vast majority of Congolese are absolutely devastated by what's happened to their country.
And that's why it becomes a powerful weapon.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.